Kia ora, Kiwi Codger here, and welcome to episode 69, Hongi Invades Whangaroa, part 5. In part 4, we left Hongi wandering the plateau of Taratara. Its inhabitants, those lucky enough, fleeing down ropes and escape routes, out into the bush. The carnage of victory continues. The Ngati slaves are spared as best as possible. After the initial venting of death and destruction, captives are rounded up. Slaves make life so much easier that common sense dominates the cooling need for blood. Sporadic firing comes from the bush below as many battles erupt. From the western side, Hongi sees wafting musket smoke rise above the ferns and panga. Those escaping heading for the Ururoa Valley and the Hokianga. Many hide on ledges and nooks on Taratara, waiting for dark. Ururoa sends men to flush them out. A couple of hours of daylight remains. With threats extinguished and the lust for blood spent, the practicalities of victory returns. Ngapuhi's wounded are taken to the staging area, some onto Waihapa Depot. The bodies of their comrades will follow the same route. A supply of chosen slaves will journey to the Bay of Islands with the bodies, their lives to be extinguished by wives and loved ones. The cost of victory is borne mainly by Tareha's men. Tareha sends word to Hongi that a large body of Ngati Pā and Ngati Uru, one containing many chiefs, is broken through. Tareha's men are running low on ammunition. They top up a small group who give pursuit. The rest return to the staging area to restock. Tareha's messenger advises that Hongi was cursed by one of their chiefs. Hongi calls Ururoa and available men to join him. They quickly descend to the staging area. Hongi demands to know the insult. He hears it. He hears who spoke it. He knows this chief. The ability for a chief to absorb a public insult is zero. It's the reason they are made. They're a direct challenge. The heckles rise on his neck, his face flushes, then cold logic returns. He'll take Ururoa and 60 of his men and give chase. Tareha wants to join, but Hongi needs men who know the area. Tareha's tired. He's not the young man he was. It's easy to accept Hongi's logic. The pursuit party restock their ammunition, fill their bellies as fast as possible, trusted slaves to follow with more ammunition and food. Hongi's 5 musket slaves prepare all they need for their master and themselves. This is exciting for everyone. The party sets off in that rhythmical trot they can maintain for hours. The scouts out front. They reach the Whangaroa track. The sun is setting and the pace slows. A 3/4 moon provides enough light to continue, but when that gets low, they stop and camp near the Titore stream. 2 men are sent up a hill to spy for fires. None are seen. There's no fires for anyone tonight. Smoked flesh and stream water satisfy the bellies. It is Wednesday, the 10th of January. At first light, they eat, then set off. As the light improves, they pick up their pace. They need to catch them before they reach the upper reaches of the Hokianga. Just after the golden light of dawn, they come across several bodies, heads removed, bodies mutilated, 3 with musket wounds. Some tattoos are recognised. They're Tareha's men. Tareha warned of Ngati Po's rear guard. After passing the high country at Iwitoa, they come down to the Oporehu stream. This flows into the Mangamuka, which flows into the Hokianga. They follow the stream as it grows into a river. It's mid-morning when they get to the Mangamuka. They are out of the forest and into fern country. They push on faster. Near Hunuhunua, the track forks. The scouts examine one branch, whilst the main body arrives and mulls around the junction. They then examine the other. It's at this time that a volley of musket fire erupts from amongst the ferns. Everyone hits the ground. Then up they get and charge into the fern. Then another volley. They go down again. This time they wait. The Ngati Po rear guard breaks cover and heads down the Mangamuka. Return fire now given, but only one man drops. Ururoa runs to the front of the column. Everyone is rising to prepare for the chase, but many lay still and groaning. Taho, Ururoa's brother, has been shot in the face, the back of his head gone. Not far from Taho is Hongi, his musket slaves calling for help. Ururoa hurries to Hongi. He's unconscious, blood's belching from his mouth. Foaming blood runs down his chest. He rolls Hongi on his side to stop him drowning in his own blood. The exit hole on Hongi's back now obvious. The musket slaves are ready with kawakawa leaves. With Ururoa's permission, they make a patchwork of the leaves over the front and back holes with twigs reinforcing. Mats are cut to bind the patches in position. It has taken over an hour. Ngati Po have long gone. There will be no more pursuit. There are other priorities now. Other wounded are assessed. If they can make it back, they are readied. If not, their heads will join those of the dead. Hongi is the only exception. Litters are made for the wounded, kete for the heads. Whilst preparations for the return are made, the slaves arrive with more ammunition and food. The food is welcome. All eat. 2 runners that Ururoa trusts are sent back to the Waihapa depot. Those skilled in wounds to come immediately. Hongi's being wounded is to be kept secret. Such news could trigger too many unpredictable events. Ururoa makes ready for the 16-kilometre journey back. They begin just after midday. The pace is slow. The movement of the litter causes Hongi to groan and erupts into coughing. The congealed blood on the kawakawa ruptures. Fresh blood breaks through. He gains some normal rhythm in his breathing. He is very weak. His eyes open but show little awareness. They push on. Late afternoon, Hongi has gained consciousness. He is in great pain. He can speak, but it exhausts him. Ururoa reassures him and tells him what is happening. He nods. As darkness falls, the moon provides some light. An hour after sundown, 2 women and 1 tauhanga, skilled in Māori medicine, are brought in by the messengers and scouts. They halt. A fire started. They eat and rest. Hongi is examined and treated. Incantations begun. Others are treated. There's enough moonlight to get them to the Wainui stream. They'll camp there. Some go on ahead to prepare the camp. Ururoa asks if Hongi will die. They shrug their shoulders. Hongi has given protection to many. If he dies, they will be in danger of taua muru. Whangaroa and the Bay of Islands will degenerate into anarchy for a time. Ururoa shakes his head. From the glory of yesterday afternoon, and now his brother is dead, Hongi may die, his world is caught in a whirlpool. They reach the camp at Wainui River. Hongi has slept fitfully most of the way, his body more relaxed. Fire started, care given, food eaten, and sleep welcomed. Thursday, the 11th of January, it's 1 week since Hongi's forces entered the Whangaroa harbour. They eat at dawn and move out. They reach the taupuni, the depot at Waihapa at noon. Hongi's blind wife, Turikatuku, is waiting in the whare as he's brought in on a litter and left. She feels for his hand and strokes it. She bends over him. They Hongi. They stay in the Hongi embrace, weeping and whimpering for over 20 minutes. The shock that his body and mind have been through now eases, his breathing more natural. With exhaustion and weakness, he falls asleep. On Friday morning, he wakes in pain to find women replacing the kawa for fresh leaves, their supply of medicines and herbs running low from all the casualties. He asks for the Wesleyans to come. Perhaps their medicine can help. Reluctantly, he is told that a Toa party of disgruntled guards from the Waihapa depot raided Wesleydale yesterday at dawn, the day after the main battle for Taratara. The Wesleyans have fled to Kerikeri. Hongi is too weak and in too much pain to become angry. All his plans, all his hopes, all his dreams flowing out on the tide. He knows one day he will die, but not today. He feels his life energy holding. He is alive. He is talking. He is Hongi Hika, war chief of Ngapuhi. Okay, folks, that brings us to the end of this episode and series. Many writers of history point out that Hongi made a critical mistake by not having the chainmail protection on when shot. It's my opinion that Hongi only wore the chainmail, helmet and jacket when he knew he was going into battle. For this chase, I would be surprised if he had even taken these along. Also, this is the only time I've read of Hongi being involved in a pursuit. What made him do this? I thought about this and feel only an insult or curse could have caused him to get involved. Let's have a look at the age of our main characters at this time. Hongi is 54. Turikatuku, 55. Ururoa and Tareha are her half-brothers. She will actually die later in the month. Did she die from the illness circulating in the Bay of Islands at this time or from consumption? We really don't know. Ururoa is 46 and his brother Tareha probably around 44. Tareha, that giant of a man, is about 63. Titore is 51 and he is nephew of Tareha and married to one of Hongi's sisters. The battle experience of the Ngapuhi toa is very high compared to Ngati Po, in fact, compared to anyone. Now, from my narration, you might get the impression that what Hongi commanded happened. This isn't so. Each chief commanded his own men and would make decisions that supported his and his men's mana. Hongi, however, had the mana and an incredible understanding of those fighting with him, that he could bring everyone on board with his plan, or changed the plan to accommodate for the greater good. Hongi could see far into the distance. The next episode will be on Hongi's final journey. I look forward to your company then, but until then, hei kona, take it easy.